Welcome to another edition of the Nightly Nuge, and it's the Friday free-for-all. I'm a bit disappointed, but I understand. Fridays usually I see my man with a guitar across his lap, and we always get a little taste of some music that's floating through your brain and rumbling through your fingers, but you don't have a guitar tonight. But I do have a music question for you, Ted. We are in some very troubling times. A lot of families are having troubles making ends meet. Gas is all-time high. Groceries all-time high. Jobs pay down. I mean, it's tough. But I've been to several live shows myself and my family. My son Zach was just in New York, where you are, seeing Metallica recently. In big crowds, they're coming out. And even though money's tight, they're finding the money. I saw you in a sold-out concert hall here recently. Why do you think people are budgeting in these tough times to still be able to go see live music like the Detroit Muscle Tour, all these other live acts that are out there?
Well, let me take you back to the origins. I don't think the guy had a name. He was naked. He was in a cave. He had a club, and he had just beat down some saber-toothed tiger and was feeling pretty uppity and pretty manly. Went back to his cave, and his naked woman was right there, and they'd figured out fire just recently. They had a fire going, and they had a stretched skin over a frame because they're making clothes. I think his name was Erg, and his only syllable was this was the origins of mankind. And because he was turned on by saving his woman in the village with his bow and arrow, he felt, say vital. And he took that bow and arrow, even though he was just flexing. He had just killed dinner, or maybe he killed an enemy. Ping, kung, king, 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 thump on the stretched skin. Kung, kung, thump. Kung, king, kung, thump, thump. Kung, kung, thump, dum, dum, thump. He got a rhythm going, and he was breathing all night long because the music is so inspiring. The first note came from a bowstring and a stretched skin, and I'm the only guy who is directly connected to that primal scream of the origins of grinding, grunting, breeding music. And here it is all these years later. People need to communicate during heartbreaking times. And you're right, it's difficult with the engineered violent crime, the engineered invasion of our country, the giving away of our gazillions of dollars of tax dollars to our enemy and military equipment and in technology. So music cleanses the soul. It's a release, especially my music. And like Zach went to Metallica, those are hardcore, grinding, fire-breathing musical masters. And people are going to get a relief from the treachery and the heartbreak and the criminality by our government and the media, academia. Even Disney's gone vile. There's so much ugliness that when we get to a concert, it's all positive. My tour, Ted Nugent, Detroit Muscle in 2022, that I can honestly and genuinely tell you this is the musical highlight of my life. What Greg and Jason do to every song, the guitar tone I'm getting out of those Gibson Birdland guitars, the musical adventure that I'm out of body. I'm the only guy who's referenced killer music as a martial arts. It's out of body. It's beyond stream of consciousness. It's out there in the ether where there are no parameters, there are no regulations, there are no limitations, and we unleash a beast every night. And I know Metallica does that, and whatever music you like. I know in their own way, we have opening bands called Rick Monroe and the Hitmen. You may have never heard of them, but killer musicians. An opening act, Michael Austin, with a killer band. When a musician puts our heart and soul into our music, and most of us do, there is an out-of-body openness and uppity, positive attractiveness. And people seek that because, like the great philosopher Dirty Harry says, a good man has to know his limitations. And we need to fight. We need to earn our way. We need to put pressure on our elected employees. But then the term recreation is the recreation, the recreating of our energy. So these concerts are very, very important right now, and real music lovers are budgeting so that they can go and escape the madness. Music will literally cleanse your soul. It's intoxicating and stimulating like nothing else. We can watch sports, but it's not quite the same, especially when you come to a Ted Nugent show, because my rhythm and blues rock and roll, it will take you away. And during my concert, the world is perfect.
You know what, Ted? I know exactly how the caveman felt, because last weekend, Jeannie and I were at one of your concerts, and I saw her, dancing to Stranglehold, and I was just kind of thinking ahead how the rest of my day was going to progress thereafter. So thank you, sir. And listen, great talking to you. If our listeners come back tomorrow night, I want you and I to tell some Yukon hunting stories. So if you come back tomorrow for the weekend edition of the Nightly Nuge, you'll get to hear Ted and I talk a little bit about wilderness hunting in the Yukon. Ted, see you tomorrow.
All right. The world is a wilderness, and I'm Natty Bumppo.